I am completely rewriting a fantasy novel in the month of April, and you've just joined the rebellion, so you're going to come with me. I'm going to be using Sarah Cannon's Rough Draft Challenge for April. All of her links are down in the description if you would like a little bit more from her angle on it, but I'm not going to be using everything in her system. I'm tailoring it to fit how I actually write, and you can do the same thing. I definitely recommend checking out her videos because she covers parts of the process I might skip, but we are going to get started. Okay, I'm going to show you how I'm using Sarah Cannon's Rough Draft Challenge to completely overhaul my fantasy story. If you like fantasy, if you like dragons, if you like watching a story come together piece by piece, you are definitely in the right place. Today is going to be a prep day, like a day 0 kind of thing. The Rough Draft Challenge hasn't officially started yet. If you're watching this the day I post it, it is March 29th, and the Rough Draft Challenge starts in 3 days. So I'm hoping I can pull together all of this stuff before day 1 actually starts. I'm going to be setting up my planner. I'm going to be setting up the Rough Draft Challenge website tracker and getting everything in place so that I can actually keep up with this, because life's going to happen. And I'm a teacher. This is the end of spring break for me, so I'm going back to school tomorrow. We've got diagnostic testing and map testing coming up in the month of April, and this is going to be real down and dirty. It's not going to be pretty. I'm not a professional content creator or anything like that, so it's just going to be what it is, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Come along for the ride. Let's get into this, and let's actually set some stuff up. All right, so here I have my printed April Rough Draft Challenge, and as you can see, as you start to flip through, you get your second page, third page, fourth page, and so on, just like a book. And this is printed so that all you have to do is fold it in half, and you have your entire book. However, since I will be hole punching mine, I actually need to cut these. And what I'm going to do, because I am old school, and yes, I'm a teacher, but my paper cutter is at school and not here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to old school fold them and tear them. So here we go. I apologize if my not being able to tear straight bothers you, but let's just call it internet rage bait and move on. I told you this was going to be down and dirty, and it is. And having pages that are a little bit not straight doesn't bother me a whole ton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, and I will actually probably trim them up just a little bit. I'm going to take these, and I'm just going to take the facing pages and fold it in half. You see we've got April 6th, April 7th, so we're right here in the middle. 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, it's magic. We have a little book. And so I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to trim it real quick. And from here, I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Let me trim these up just a touch. And yes, I know, Welch, just go get a paper cutter. It's fine. I actually do have a paper cutter. It's just not here, and or I couldn't find it. So we're going to do this the way that my mother would kill me for. You know, the fast didn't think it through. We're an author on a mission, and the words on the page matter more than straight edges. That's my motto anyway. Oh, and I like my little calm strip thingy here. It's perfect when I have to think. You want a little ASMR? I love it. It gets in my way a lot, but it's great for when I'm trying to write. So there's my booklet, and I have myself a little, this isn't rings, this is a disc planner thing. It's literally just the covers for it. I got this at Staples on clearance for like $7 years ago, and I haven't used it in forever. I've got some little pockets in here and some little dividers. I don't even know if I'm going to use these. Yeah, this is Martha Stewart from the Office collection. Whatever. It was on clearance. But I haven't used this forever, and I thought we would pull it out. One of my kids got spaghetti sauce on it. Such is life. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my little hole punch here. And I know that you can get dog hair. Welcome to my life, dog hair everywhere. I know that you can get more expensive versions of these. This one itself, again, came from Staples. It's that little Arc brand. This one was like $15, which was insane. I know ones that will punch more papers at a time are like $50. So I would rather suffer and go 3 pages at a time. So I'm going to get these punched and we will put them in. All right. What was a very quick little cute transition for you was felt like a boss battle to me. Now I'm remembering why I haven't used the disc system in a long time. It's not because of the discs, it's because of the hole punch. I hate that thing, but I'm not willing to pay more money for a bigger one right now, so it'll be fine. I almost died in the middle when I had to empty it, but we'll get these in here and put this together. And I find the best way to do this is just to grab a few at a time and pop them straight in, just like that, and then they flip. As I go through here, like I said, I am not going to be using every single thing that the Rough Draft Challenge sticks in here. Sarra Cannon's got a lot of amazing options, and the great thing about it is that you're not meant to use absolutely everything. You can pick and choose what's going to work for you during your month that you are doing this. I also want to mention that she has an undated planner on there. I'm doing this in April with her kind of official Rough Draft Challenge setup. But she does have an undated one, both Monday Start and Mixed Start, that you can use anytime, which is absolutely amazing. I used this method to write my previous novel, and I found it worked really, really well. For Tiny Dragon, I ended up doing 2 different Rough Draft Challenges, actually. I did the first one to draft the novel, and then I did another one later for edits. And so what I want to start with now is just kind of basic setup. Let me see if I can find a pin. Oh no, Where did all my pins go? Let me go digging. Oh, is that a good one? Oh, new pin, guys. Oh my goodness, it's brand new. I haven't opened up a brand new pin in a long time. Let's hope it works. So, for this, I actually have the novel that we're going to be working on drafted. It's drafted at about 90,000 words. And the cool thing is, I don't know if, oh, hey, you're my favorite author. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. The great thing about what Sarra Cannon does is that for her rough draft challenge, she's got different tiers that you can pick. Emerald is 10,000 words, Sapphire's 25,000, Ruby's 50,000, Citrine 75,000, Amethyst is 100,000 or more, and Diamond is create your own. So you don't even have to use this for writing. You can use it for whatever you want. I've known some people who will do like, I'm going to declutter one room a day for 30 days, you know, and just kind of make a circle around their house over and over again until they get rid of some stuff, which is super duper cool. For me, because I already have my story rough drafted, and it's a fantasy story, so it's longer. It's rough drafted at 90,000 words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an amethyst, the 100,000 word version here. If I make it to 100,000 words, that's great. If I don't, that's also great. I'm more interested in getting the story done. So if I get halfway through my edits this month and I'm going, okay, this is going to be 97,000 words, I'm not going to force myself to do another 3,000 words just to hit the goal. I'm going to be like, yay, I finished the story, which is kind of the point. So I'm going to say amethyst because I think I'm going to hit 100,000. Honestly, this book is already 92,000. And that sounds like an absolute crap ton of words. I get it. But my words are already written. So I am going to count word count, full, like total word count as we run through here. But if 3,000 words are great and I'm not changing anything other than proofreading a little bit, then I'm going to write down 3,000 words and we're going to keep going, because there's going to be a point where I get 500 words done in a super important scene and it takes me 3 days to do it. So I'm going to kind of play mix and match with my word count here. I am doing the amethyst goal with the understanding that most of my words are already written. Now, that being said, I know that I am doing a complete rewrite of the first scene, the first act of the novel. All of Act 1 is getting a complete rewrite. So while those words will be new words, they will be replacing words that are coming out. And so it'll kind of trade off, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to go with the total word count of how much I get done per day. She has a noveling checklist. Look at your available time for the upcoming month. I'm going to be doing that here in a minute. Word count goals. We already talked about that. Create a plan for when you will write each day. We'll go through that in just a minute. Rewards. I tend to just kind of pick something I like. I'm usually too busy to worry about rewards until I get to the end, but I do reward myself at the end. Meals and snacks. She has a meal and snack planner in here. If you want to look at her videos for how to do that, go for it. Our family is pretty stable on what we do for meals and shopping and all that kind of stuff, so we're just going to stick to what we've got. So I'm not going to be using that for mine. Make a list of all the tools you'll need to plan your novel. I kind of don't really think I need a list too much as I try to fix my lighting so you can actually see my page, because I've already got all my tools. They're on my desk. I'm good. Software and computer, I'm fine. I'm going to be using Google Docs. I can get to it anywhere. For your health, I'm going to continue neglecting my health the way I usually do, and I'm probably going to eat too much chocolate. That's how life's going to go because I'm writing a novel this month. Brainstorm any extras. Honestly, this is my extra. I'm done. Prep your writing crew. I'm actually kind of excited about this. I will be using the online version of the Rough Draft Challenge website. And we'll hop on and I'll show you how I set that up here in just a little bit. But I will be taking part in some of the writing sprints, not every single day because I have life things to do, but they've got somebody writing just about every day of the month, and you can hop on there and look at their calendar, and I'm going to be writing along with them. And she also does daily vlogs for her channel, just like I'm going to be doing here on Writing with Dragons. Joining writing groups. I don't have a writing group unless y'all want to join one with me. So if you're going to hop in, let me know in the comments that you are going to be writing during the April Rough Draft Challenge, and we can kind of help and encourage each other. I would love to hear what you're writing about. This is the part that I really, really, truly want to take a look at here. Prepping your project, I'm going to have to re-outline that beginning act that needs rewritten, and probably a couple of places in the middle. I'm going to be working through the character sheets. I do have a color code for my characters because I've got 4 different point of views happening in this fantasy novel I'm working on. We will work through the outline. I don't use index cards, but I will kind of list out the scenes. That way I kind of have a go-to table of contents for if I'm going to keep a scene or if I'm going to cut it or change it, and I can kind of color code as we go through. Research, for me, I don't do research ahead of time. I research things as I run into them, or I will just put the little brackets in there and just be like, I don't know anything about Viking shipping and I need to go learn a thing. And so I'll put that in there and I'll come through and I'll hit that again on another round of edits. Now, this is the round of edits where I already have some of these brackets in here, so I might have to stop and do some research and actually fill in that information. World building is where I work with my husband. We are an authorship team, so our pen name together is B.D. Welch, and he's the B and I'm the D, and we are both Welches. So we work together on the world building here. So if I have any questions, he's kind of got the more world building and lore of the world in his head, so I'll go to him for that. Cover art is super fun. I'm going to throw something together on Canva. I don't have anything done yet, but I do plan on finding an actual paid cover artist for this novel. I did the cover art for the last novel by myself, which was, honestly, it was quite fun. It took a lot of time. I bought the coin and the dragon online, and I did all of the rest of it myself. And I had to revise it 6 times and changed it, and still would like to fix a couple of things outside of that. But I did all of the cover art, the interior design, and everything myself, and it turned out pretty good. So I'll hop on Canva and throw something together for the next book that is still in the same world as Tiny Dragon here. But that will just, what I do now will just be a placeholder for the actual art of the book when it's published. Prep my location, ergonomics, inspiration. I have a candle somewhere. Eventually I will show you the desk that my husband just bought me. It's not my big desk here that I'm working on. My husband just today got me a roll top desk, and I'm still, it like needs cleaned up because it's of course it's used. It's from the early 1900s, and it is absolutely great. I've got a little treasure box that goes with it, and it's so pretty. But I'll tell you about all of that later. I set the mood. My mood is escaping from my children while they're in the other room or they're outside playing or doing their homework, because my office is my own, and not many people have that. There were many times in my life where I was trying to write a novel and I'm sitting on the couch with a crying baby, and I completely understand that. So if you're in the position where you don't have your own desk or anything like that, let me know, and maybe I can give you a little bit of advice, because I've definitely been in that situation before. To-do lists, shopping, and decisions. These are kind of the pages I'm not going to use a whole ton. And this is really, truly what I wanted to get through, because I've got a lot of things that are coming up. For example, my oldest son has an ortho appointment. but I am not taking him to that, which actually means I'm going to have a little bit more time that day than I actually planned on. My middle son has rehearsals for the musical that he's in every day this week, and they don't get done until 5, which means I'm not getting home until 5 p.m. throughout the day, throughout the week, 5 or 5:30. And so finding time to write during the week is probably going to happen for me early in the morning. I tend to get up about an hour before everybody else so I can do some journaling. I will probably skip the journaling and turn it into writing. What I do know, however, is that he has, my middle son who's in the musical, he has performances the 9th, 10th, and 11th. So I know I am not going to get any writing done, at least on the 11th. Excuse me. But I am gone to a conference from here through the 10th, and I will get back on the 10th for his performance. He also has a performance on the 9th that I will miss opening night, unfortunately, but I am speaking at the Right to Learn conference, which is a conference for English teachers. And I can spell and talk at the same time. I promise you that. So if you're in the central United States and you've gone to the Right to Learn conference, I would be interested in hearing from you because I'm actually speaking at it this year. It's for English teachers where I'm going to be talking about my gamification that I've invented for my classroom called Learning with Dragons. This is Writing with Dragons. I have Learning with Dragons for my classroom. And we basically play a TTRPG fantasy game in my classroom as we learn. And it's pretty cool. So I'm going to get to talk about that. Throughout the rest of April, this last week is map testing. And I don't know what is going to happen during this week. Map testing, if you're not in Missouri or your state doesn't use map testing, or maybe it's been a minute since you've been in school, it's our big statewide test that we give every year. I teach middle school. And our schedules get really wonky throughout this week, but I will still have my early morning time. So I'm still going to call these writing days. So I'm going to say Right to Learn conference. I might actually have some time to write. I might not. It kind of depends. So I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to say these are not writing days. So I'm going to say I have 4 days that I definitely can't write. And then I'm going to add in a couple of buffer days because, if I get a headache or if map testing gets crazy, because of map testing and because technically this week here is also diagnostic testing, which is a little bit different than map testing. I know, so much testing. I'm going to build myself in 3 buffer days. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say that there are 7 days that I cannot write out of the 30 days in April, which means I have 23 writing days. Okay. And if I have, I'm going to pull up the calculator on my computer, and I'm sorry you can't see it, but I promise it'll be fine. If I'm going to do 100,000 words divided by 23 writing days, that means I need to, now keep in mind, I'm not writing these wholesale. But that means I need to get through 4,340, well, it's 47.8, but I'm going to do 3,448 words per day. Which I will have days where I will not hit that, and I will have days where I will get 10,000 words done. And I just know from experience, because I've been doing these sort of challenges for over a decade, that will happen. I just know it will. So I think this is pretty doable, especially because I'm not drafting it. Again, I'm just going over the words, and if I find 10,000 words worth of chapter that is completely fine, I'm going to call it completely fine. And I'm going to move on. There's pieces that I will not touch of the novel. So, sprint calculator. What's your average word count per sprint? Now, I know when I am drafting that my average word count per 25-minute writing sprint, just like Sarra Cannon uses, my average word count is about 800 words per sprint. However, I'm going to double that because I am not actually rewriting everything. So if my daily word count target is 4,348 divided by 1,600, I'm getting out my calculator again. 4,348 divided by 1,600, and these numbers sound absolutely gigantic to me. This is telling me that I need, it's 2.7, so I'm going to round it to 3 sprints per day, and I'm going to be a little bit conservative with that, and I'm going to say probably 4 sprints per day. Give myself a touch of wiggle room. So when she does sprints, she means a 25-minute working block with a 5-minute break. And this equals out to 2 hours a day, which means if I'm doing my normal writing time in the morning, that gives me an hour, which means I have to find an hour before I go to bed as well. And I know I can do that. I have some time where we usually sit down and watch a movie or something after dinner. So I can figure that out pretty well. And I've kind of got all of this down already, but this is 100,000 divided by 27 writing days this month. Gives me a word count target of 4348 per day, and my daily word count target 4348. This just kind of pulls it all together for you. Average words per sprint, let's call it my 1,600, and that's going to give us 3 sprints per day. I am giving myself 4 sprints per day, just to make it a nice round 2-hour number. And so I'm going to call it my 30 minutes, which is my 25-minute sprint length, then a 5-minute break. Means I need 120 minutes of writing time per day. So if I take my total goal and I divide it by my average word counts per sprint, that's more math than I can do in my head because I'm an English teacher, not a math teacher. Divided by 1,600. That means I need 62.5, or let's call it 65. Again, I like nice round numbers, not even numbers, but round numbers. I'm going to call it 63, really. I'm going to call it 65 sprints needed to win. And yes, I know that doesn't match up with the 4. It's fine. Don't math me. So I'm going to say 65 sprints that I need to win. Or if I do 65 times 30 minutes, that's 1,950 minutes, or 97 hours, I think. No, didn't do that math right. Don't mind me. 65 is good though. Rewards planner. I always set up rewards and then I don't ever do them. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. If I come back to it, I will. Aw, you are capable of more than you give yourself credit for. I don't give myself credit for a lot, so it's okay. Again, I'm not going to be using the meal planner because that's pretty set in stone for us. And I will come back tomorrow to talk about the actual idea brainstorm and things. So, I'm going to actually switch over to the computer and we will set up the rough draft challenge. So all of our setup is good and gone and done. And then we will come back through and work on actually working through the story and making sure our story is good to go tomorrow. All right, I am here on the the Rough Draft Challenge website. I have already logged in, simply because y'all don't need my email and password. But if you haven't logged in yet, you can just go up here to roughdraftchallenge.com, click sign up, go through the little sign-in process, verify your email, and then you are good to go. As you can see, I have 2 other challenges in here, and I actually did finish this one, but I just forgot to update it. So as you see, April 2025, this time last year, I was going through the exact same process with Tiny Dragon that I'm going through now with my new Darkbringer book. And then in July, I went through a final edits phase. And that's the thing that I absolutely love about the Rough Draft Challenge is that unlike the old NaNoWriMo, you're not kind of stuck into the 50,000 word rough draft every single time. You can actually work through and get other things done for publication. So I'm going to come up here and click new. This is for next month, April 2026. The name of my project is going to be... oh no. Why do I always hit buttons that I don't need with weird pop-ups and everything? I told you this was going to be weird. The Darkbringer Chronicles, Book 1, and this is going to be Phoenix. I chose the word Phoenix and I can't even spell it. This is going to be a great book, guys. Phoenix and Shadow. All right, my goal, guys. I'm extremely nervous about this 100,000 word goal, but I know that most of it's already written and everything will be kind. Everything will be fine. I just need to breathe. It'll be okay. I promise. You can actually put in a link to your cover image here. I don't have one yet. The cool thing is you can come back and add this in later. So when I get one, I'll put one in here. Amethyst tier, that's exactly what we want. And I'm just going to go create. Yay. Done. So now when I log in, I'll probably just keep this pulled up here. All I have to do is come click and my book cover will show up here. My goal, approximately how many words I need to do per day. And the thing with this here, the 3,334, that is every single day of writing in the month of April. As we already saw, I don't intend to write every single day in the month of April. So my number's different than this, but it's a good rule of thumb. It tells you how many words you have remaining to write. And you can come back in here. Remember how I said you could come and add your book cover in here? You can click Edit Project, and it will let you do that. You can update your word count, and what you're going to do is you'll pick your date, and it's not this day yet. And you will put in how many total words you have written. So let's say day 1, I get through word number 1 to word number 4,000. So I come put 4,000 words. And let's say for the sake of math, day number 2, I get from word number 4,000 to word number 8,000. Yes, I wrote 8,000 or 4,000 words for that day, but the word I'm going to put in here is going to be the 8,000. I will put the total words from my project, not just today's words. So I'm going to go ahead and zero this out because I haven't done anything yet. And that's it. I mean, this is a very, very simple site. I can go back and show you my Tiny Dragon one, how this looked. I did absolutely amazing at the beginning, And like this first day, I did 2,500 words. By day 2, I was already up here at 7,000 words. And then I had a day where I jumped from 9,800 words to 12,300 words. And then I didn't do anything for like 2 weeks because, hey, remember that whole map testing thing I was talking about? Yeah, it got kind of crazy in April this last year. Or this is July. Oh, yeah, I remember. I got sick that month. I didn't do anything. But then I jumped on up here, and then I had a day where I went from 27,000 to 31,000. So most of mine are probably going to look like this because I am farther along in this book than I was in Tiny Dragon. But life will be good, and it will be awesome. And this is the Rough Draft Challenge, and we are set up here. And I'm going to go make a book cover. I guess if you want to come with me on that, you can. And I'll probably put this on the next video. But for right now, we are set up. We are good to go. And thank you for joining the rebellion. Leave any questions or comments you have down at the bottom. And we will be good. If you want me to slow this down, you want me to talk through the decisions I make more as we get into story planning, let me know. I can do kind of a deeper version, or if there is a particular thing you have questions about, I'd be happy to go in more detail on those things. And this kind of stuff is just kind of placeholders. Come back tomorrow, and we'll actually start building the story. Ask any questions you've got. Welcome to Riding with Dragons, and the rebellion starts on April 1st.